Yo, so fam, what's up? What it do? Welcome to K&M Witchery, or Readings by K&M. That's me. I am Kat Nicoletta Monroe, for those of y'all who may not know. And this is your spiritual check-in times 3. Pick a card edition, where y'all can absolutely sit back and listen or watch this full video through, because there's definitely going to be messages in every single pile for everybody tuning in. But I do want y'all to definitely go wherever it is that your gut, your heart, your eyes, your ears, if you're hearing a particular number, tell you to go. Right now we are smack dab, as I'm recording this, in the middle of eclipse season, in Mercury retrograde. There's a lot going on when it comes to overall collective unconsciousness, okay? When it comes to collective destiny, when it comes to interpersonal connections, when it comes to independent progression. So there's a lot going on, and I figured that one regular old spiritual check-in, which by the way is essentially a general reading of what it is that you need to hear now, just isn't enough. It's just not enough. Although you can absolutely stay tuned, because there will be one following this anyways. Without further ado, I have no idea what to expect behind any of these piles. I am allowing my intuition to just go wherever it requires to flow for you. I also pulled these piles days ago, okay? So like this energy's been marinating, bish, okay? We also even had an eclipse, a lunar eclipse. So yeah, these energies are charged up, and I finally felt the urge to sit down with y'all and deliver what it is that is required for you. So sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. Hopefully you resonate quite strongly. If you do, please let me know in the comments down below. It means so much to me to hear from y'all, to know that these messages are helping somebody. You know, I'm just a girl on YouTube. Help me out, do all the YouTubey things, like and subscribe and all of that, should you of course desire to. Otherwise, I do hope to see you in more videos and more piles as my content continues to progress and be pushed out there more and more. Without further ado, down below are timestamps, okay? To clarify, this is pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. We can zoom in if you want to really absorb all of this energy, okay? Go wherever it is that your gut is prompting you to go, because somehow you just know that the messages that you are requiring today lie behind this particular pile or piles. Perhaps you're unable to take your eyes off of them, or you're hearing a number being repeated over and over and over again. Or again, you're just called to watch it all through. However it is, I'm excited to be here for y'all. So let's scroll on down to the chapters below, pick your appropriate piles, and I'll see y'all on the other side. Pile number 1, what's up? What it do? Let us jump right on in. Before I pressed play, by the way, I don't know, Spirit is just inclining me to say this. Y'all might be going out for a smoke break right now, or like enjoying a blunt or a spliff as you're kicking back. I don't know, but whoever that's for, what's up? I see you, and happy to have you here, I guess. Yeah, it's great. Let's see what we have for you. First, we have Claim Your Power. Nourishment while waiting. Ooh, attract through glow. I just heard as above, so below on this. Interesting. Just trust, a beautiful little reminder, and focus on the big picture. Now I pulled some additional clarifier cards. So we have Under My Umbrella, Red Garden, Home in the Sky. Oh, this isn't really focusing much, is it? That's not very nice. And All Is Connected. I gotta check my camera settings later on. Sorry, guys. And Bloom. We have Bloom. All right, so what I am picking up for my pile number 1. Let's zoom in so y'all got a good view along with me before we pull some more cards, shall we? You are coming out of a period, pile number one, where it feels as though you are being reborn from the ashes that you burned in, very much so like a phoenix. You're past the life stage, you're past your magnificence in one form. Stay with me here. You have burned aspects of yourself, likely through ego deaths or dark nights of the soul. I'm hearing 2023 and even the start of 2024 could have been a bit rough for y'all. I currently have my hands instinctually placed in like a prayer position, with like my fingers all interlocked like this. So, yikes, you may have really had to hold on for dear life, so to speak, as you are transitioning through a phase in your life that is currently birthing a new version of yourself. And I know, as someone whom guides people through ego deaths and breakthroughs and changes limiting beliefs, I tend to practice what I preach, even though sometimes I curse myself for it because I'm like, oh, must I take my own advice and do this stuff? But nevertheless, okay, I'm just kidding. It's good, do the work. Whatever it is that y'all gotta do is you gotta do it. People find it near impossible to fathom that one instance in your life or a complete culmination of them can have such an impact on who you are as a person, down to your beliefs and values. A lot of people believe that people can't really change. I just heard once a cheater, always a cheater, as an example, right? Cliche little example, but one nonetheless. Whereas you have gone through enough change in your life. Now, I am hearing that some of y'all went through some very deep transformations, like you may have lost someone in the family, or are overcoming illness, right? Because I'm seeing a lot of hospitals, so my heart is with you if this resonates. Very heavy energy. Suddenly I understand smoking. Or it could just very well be that you could be on a different side of things. Like you didn't have a very difficult life experience. Now that you are, I guess, you never really get over really challenging things like this. But the point that I'm trying to make now is like the hardest part is over, and you're standing up again. You're eating again. You're somehow allowing yourself to smile more often, you know? But if that's not the case, sorry, wow, because I think a lot of y'all are here right now. The other versions of my soul fam tuning in, you could just be going through a lot of like, I'm hearing like CPTSD, right? So complex post-traumatic trauma, where you have allowed yourself the safe space, the right narratives to allow yourself to purge whatever it is that no longer belongs inside you. The mind, after all, is a very powerful tool, and if the body remembers, your mind can help move that energy. Hypnotherapy, NLP, and overall my intuitive coaching can help with anyone who that resonates with, by the way. That's available at canonwitchery.com, but moving right along. The Phoenix rising aspect of coming out of the shadows is what's really becoming very evident for me. On a few cases, we have birds whom are standing. They're not in flight. We have more birds. None of these birds are in flight, bro. I'm just noticing that. That's crazy. You have done the quote unquote shadow work, the ground work. I just heard early bird gets the worm. That makes sense. You were hungry. You were out there just, you know, doop, 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 jumping along the little grass, finding worms. feeding and nourishing yourself is what I'm saying. You're either in this phase right now where you're allowing yourself to learn this new version of you, to cater to this new version of you. You're listening to your body a little bit differently. Like, what do you need? You know, I feel like some of y'all are honestly, and if I could be real, I'm resonating a lot with pile number one. Going through a physiological change whilst allowing the conscious awareness to catch up to what is happening in your body, and thus are able to cater yourself what it is that you need through, obviously, hopefully the help of others. I genuinely hope that y'all have some friends and family or professionals around you, okay? If not, please reach out to somebody. If not myself, somebody, okay? You're restabilizing yourself. Either you're learning to live a life from a completely new perspective in general, or are learning to live your life due to a huge change. You may have lost somebody, you may have just been divorced, you may have moved to a different country and it's a culture shock. People underestimate that. They're like, Kat, you travel all that. It's like, yeah, I know. And like, the anxieties are still there. Imagine me ordering a bagel in Paris. I managed, broken French, but we got to eat. Point is it's a culture shock regardless, you know? So shoot. The thing is though, pile number one is you make things look really easy because a lot of the transformation that you do is such a private act that people, number one, they never see the shit coming. Y'all are experiencing right now a emergence of self that hadn't prior existed, that always perhaps maybe did exist, but in this little teeny tiny corner of your heart, of your body, of your courage, saying, hey, we could do this, we could be here, you know? And you made room and decluttered old emotions, fears, limiting beliefs. I'm literally hearing a gym ambiance. You've done the work on yourself, mind, body, and soul, and are now ready to bloom. I also heard Chiron, so the wounded healer. There is something that you may be okay. This could just simply be your energy, because when you change and you shift your energy, you impact others around you. Most of the time it's very unconsciously, but point is energy is very loud, especially if you know how to listen. And the shift that you have made within yourself is notably making a difference in others. You could be offering different types of advice that are so wise that even you are stunned sometimes that came out of your own mouth. You're like, damn. But the fact of the matter is the more that we allow ourselves to transmute pain into possible, interesting choice of words, we begin to adopt a more grounded sense of being that increases our belief in ourselves, in our power. And what I'm saying here is, pile number one, y'all really went through a lot, to say the least. It was 11:33 on my timer when I looked. And you have overcome. Now it's just about repositioning yourself finding your feet, learning how to fly again, perhaps seeing the light for the first time, you know, like there's a lot. And the thing is though, is your power is delicate. And even if you're a man and you're like, no, I'm a Spartan, just know that any seemingly small shift within the self can absolutely still cause a hurricane on the other side of the world. You know, like you are the flutter of that butterfly right now. Your energy is, it's necessary right now in the world. I will just leave it at that. You may also, in fact, be coming out with something that is more grounded. You can be a coach yourself. You can be a practitioner, a therapist, someone that is an activist in one form or another. You want to spread some truth. You want to help people heal. You're stepping into that and or are living in that already, have been established for years, and you want more. You want to put something out that's greater. Do that thing, okay? If this part of the reading resonates with you, do it. Yes. I love powerful people sharing their powerful stuff. Yeah, but I'm also a North Node in Aquarius, so yeah, that kind of would make sense for someone like me. But perhaps you got to look into your North Node, whatever your North Node may be, pile number 1, research into it, okay? I am not an astrologer myself, but honestly, Google, YouTube, fantastic tools, okay? You just type in North Node in Aquarius and also take a look at which house it's in, okay? Because, yeah, the area of your chart in which your North Node lies, and obviously ultimately your South Node too, will be a big arrow forward for you of like what area in your life you got to focus most on, how it all correlates. And so I would just literally type in North Node in, well, mine's in my 2nd house. So there it is. I would type in North Node in 2nd house, and people much smarter than I in this department will tell me all about myself. How cool is that? Who doesn't love learning about themselves? So whoever needed that, check out your North Node placement, okay? And thoroughly, okay? Because you know you're on the right path. I think you just need some like restabilizing. I'm getting that scene from Walk to Remember when he puts her foot on either side of the line and now she's in 2 places at once. Yep. The premise there is that like, now I'm hearing, okay, wow, sorry, Spirit's hitting me with a lot. What's that song? Britney Spears, Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman. It's that very in-between energy where you're in 2 places at once, in the past and in the future, and you're just learning who you are right now. And in doing so, you are creating change, you are elevating, you are, first of all, you are blossoming. People are noticing your glow up. They are very curious about your life, pile number 1. I will put that out there too. I'm really getting brought to under my umbrella right now. This is freaking adorable, first of all. I think that your intuition, your healing, you are so very protected that even though the world is falling apart and seemingly you can't stop the rain, like you really miss the sun, you are still so protected in subtle and simple and yet very powerful ways, I would say. Be open right now, pile number 1, to offers. People would like to give you more. Okay, now I have to block this little part of this card out. But anyways, I got pulled to the Klimt Tarot for y'all randomly. Someone just holds these cards like this. But both the Hermit as well as the Ten of Wands came out, okay? So this is yet another acknowledgement of all of the hard work that you had put yourself through, okay? The Hermit in this deck is very sad, as you can tell. Like, what it is that they are going into and bringing out hold many burdens, many depths, and notice how the backs are curved on both of these individuals. Heavy loads on the shoulders. Like, you know, when your shoulders are so tense, we carry so much tension in our shoulders. The world felt, the world felt, sorry, the world felt heavy on your shoulders at one point or another. And perhaps maybe now you have the ability to laugh at yourself. We're going to keep these in here before Daddy YouTube gets mad at me for any nudities. But nevertheless, I mean, even these cards being face down shows me that this is what you had overcome. It's an acknowledgement thereof, okay? Spirit really wants to reiterate that you have done a lot of that work. And now the King of Pentacles comes on in, okay? You may just like, again, you just don't really know. You have all of these potentials. I mean, wow, the problems. No, I'm just kidding. But in your immediate future, or very near, okay, if not already, should you stay open, because that's the caveat here, to opportunities that flood on in, to offers, to people wanting to give you their umbrella when you're walking in the rain, you know? Like, what a gesture. Or it's like the equivalent of you not having a jacket and someone taking the jacket off of their own shoulders and giving it to you. Like, that is a very powerful gesture. Simple. It's just a jacket. And yet it means so much more, doesn't it? So when you show gratitude to the most quote unquote minuscule things, well, to follow the energy of this card before I continue on, is you may just have so many offers that you just don't really know which way to go. And you may be sitting in more, I just heard discernment. Okay, I understand. So in order for a pattern not to repeat itself, you may really take your time in choosing your direction and where it is that you want to invest your time, because he is holding this coin very close to his chest, biting his lip, thinking quite hard, right? Lots going on in this dude's head, even though he is the King of Pentacles. But what it is that he's grounding, he wants to be sure of. But to further that is, so fam, be open to the kind gestures that are making their way over to you right now, okay? Three of Pentacles came on in. They're really going to make a whirlwind of a difference for you in your overall state of being, in you finding your footing, so to speak, right? The Strength card comes out, yep. And step by step, more and more, you're going to be recognizing that the light, the sparkle in your eye is going to start coming back. Okay. Now, there may be fears of taking the wrong step forward because the Fool is here again. So understand one thing. I'm going to hold this backwards just in case. You know what I meant when I said that. You may have fears of the past repeating itself, and or will have bouts of emotional expression that cause you to have a breakdown once in a while, right? Like, emotions are unconscious. We must remember that, soul fam. So as much as we believe as a society that we can control our emotions, we can only suppress them, because that's what we mean by controlling our emotions. It's not willfully expressing them or allowing them to pour as they come up. No, because we're in a meeting right now, or we're talking to this person and we can't show weakness and all, like we don't let ourselves feel it because it's uncomfortable. Nobody wants to sit there really angry and or depressed as all hell, you know? Nevertheless, though, choosing to express the emotions in a safe manner when it is that you do feel safe, like say you are in the middle of a reading. I'm not saying, or a reading, I meant meeting. Same thing for me in my life, but nonetheless, when you are in a professional setting and you're unable to have a emotional reaction due to professionalism or like whatever it may be, okay? Save it for the second that you get back into a moment that is yours, whether that be in your home, whether that be in the bathroom stall. We've been there, okay? Where I'm like, whoo, emotional outburst. This is the only spot I could do it in, you know? And you just have yourself a little cry, fix up your makeup and mascara and get the hell out there again, swinging your hair like nobody knew, you know? However it is, just know that breakdowns are only continuously making room for what is rightfully coming for you to help rebalance your life and definitely help strengthen yourself and bring that light back into your life. Healing is continuous. Therefore, even if many, many years down the line, you find yourself emotional about something that had occurred many, many, many years prior, it's because of that suppression being lodged deeply within you that no longer belongs, and now you're safe to express and release it and continue this transformation. This is how people continue through willful work on themselves and self-awareness, allow themselves to change as a person, because you're constantly making room for who it is that you are becoming, who it is that you are now. Through healing, no matter how wacky of a roller coaster ride it is, and this is why I never sugarcoat the spiritual awakening and process, because you will feel both pain and pleasure simultaneously. To be able to honor your past self and heal, make yourself feel safe and able to accomplish anything you want in life is more than just a positive affirmation. And yet it still also must make room for us to enjoy every moment and every offer and opportunity, no matter how small, to help keep us afloat too. As you are blooming, be sure that you are grounding. Your roots must be as strong as your branches, if not stronger. So when the wildest wind blows, you can still stand afloat. It's just a storm that's passing by. And whoever needs this, emotions let's try that again. Emotions are visitors. Okay, so the sooner that you cater to them and you give these emotions the attention that they need as they need it, you are going to be able to move on with your life. Okay? The sooner they'll leave. They're not just going to be like hanging around mindlessly, like pacing in a living room. You know what I'm saying in this metaphor? So again, stay open to the opportunities that are coming up, even if that is a bit of an emotional outburst. Things are really working out. I see you, little phoenix. Okay, you're just a baby phoenix. The Queen of Cups came out. Yeah. So, Two of Wands, and I'm hearing no more shuffling, at least on this deck. So we'll see what else comes out here for y'all. I did hear extended, so we are going to push this through and see perhaps maybe what's coming up for you in the next 3 months. Let's do that. Let's do a collective 3-month forecast for you guys, pile number 1 in the extended. Interesting. I have a feeling that all extendeds are going to be drastically different from the other, as they all seem to be. Even the readings tend to go a different way sometimes, but nevertheless, yeah, 3-month forecast for y'all. Let's talk about this card here. before we close it off and move on, continue to use your level of discernment, okay? You have also, so fam, a friendly reminder, learned enough throughout your experiences to trust your insight as well. So whatever it is that your intuition is telling y'all to do to move forward, to stay back, to hold boundaries, to just leave entirely, whatever it is, however it is that this is resonating with y'all, trust it, okay? And just know that out of all of these experiences, as hard as they have been for y'all, coming out on the other side of it is someone whom has really gained a strong sense of emotional intelligence. And I know a lot of people say that they have it, but oh boy, oh boy. Common sense is very rare. Emotional intelligence, that much more. So what's coming up for y'all is, I just keep hearing opportunity. You are now going to be able to stand in front of the future version of yourself in the most subtle form, in its beginning stage. And perhaps with the right amount of patience, you are going to be rewarded with 2 options. I'm getting pulled back to this 2 of Wands here. As opposed to the many that you have to filter through and use your discernment on. Allow yourself to continue this healing process and like becoming process, okay? Because there's a lot of that still happening unconsciously, okay? Especially, like, I mean, come on. All of these are in a very similar... I gotta cover these. You're healing, and you're human, and it's okay. Give yourself permission to be a human, to go through healing pains. The right opportunities, the right pathways are coming up at you. And perhaps maybe the timeline on that is 3 months, considering we're doing a 3-month forecast. So I did hear my snaps on this. Let's jump right on in to the next portion of your reading. If you are interested, of course, there's going to be a little bit of a sneak peek, so stay tuned for that in the next minute or so. And scroll down to the description box below to grab the link. And if I don't see you there, which is totally fine, I hope to see you in another pile or another video altogether. So thank you so much, SoFam, for being here today. Please do all of the YouTubey things. It really helps me out. Like, comment, subscribe, especially. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace. This first month, SoFam, focus on accepting opportunities. That is a repeat type of message, right? We mustn't look at it so much as a sin. Money is a good thing. It allows you to gauge a sense of freedom, to be able to do what it is that you want on a whim if you can, to travel, to buy that gift that you accidentally forgot somebody and not have to worry about what's in your pocket. Allow whatever sort of subscriptions that need to occur, any last minute bills to come up, for them to just be paid without over stressing about what is in your pocket. See, money doesn't necessarily have to be a prideful and bad thing after all. Okay? Also, vanity, physical well-being. Perhaps maybe look at the way that you speak to yourself. I would highly suggest going to the gym. In one part of your reading, I did hear the ambiance of a gym, okay? So perhaps maybe working on your physical fitness this month is going to allow you, SoFam, to begin to love on yourself a little bit more. You know, you've done so much of that internal work. Why not allow the external to also reflect more of that? So not only are we enhancing in our finances, but also our value within ourselves. Notice how these two typically come as a pair. Pile number 2, what's up? What it do? Welcome to your spiritual check-in. I have no idea what to expect, but without further ado, let's just jump straight on in. We start off with prayer answered. Lovely. I'm hearing your stubbornness paid off for anyone who needed that. We have Nourish the Shadow. Lovely. Unknown Gift. Okay, so lots of blessings coming your way out of nowhere. So stay tuned for that. Let's see what else we've got. Let Go and Bury. Okay, I did hear pile 1, so if that does resonate with you, go ahead and watch that pile 2. You are more. What a beautiful affirmation. I love that that bird is in flight. Perfect unison and alignment to the sun or moon, however it is that you want to interpret that. Wow, I did pull additional clarifiers. So what else we got? The Art of Seduction. Okay. I'm hearing ding, 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 ding. Oh my God, this could be this just in. You could be starting to perhaps maybe date someone, or you may be meeting someone where you're having a lot of like fun. It's a little bit more than casual, but like lots of laughter and dancing and twirling and like good food and dining. Like, I don't know. Let me know if that resonates with some of y'all. You could just be having a lot of people take interest in you too. Pile number 2. Let's see what else we've got. We have Keys on Trees. Okay. Sleeping Beauty's Dream. Eva. This is a story of temptation. I just heard overcome. Interesting. We have Pure Nature, and I think you guys got a bonus card. We have Tiny Triumphs. I love that. We'll put you here, because I think that this little mousey is to take front and center of your reading here. Pile number 2, because it's going to be really important for you to accept and acknowledge the gifts that are coming their way to you, okay? My dog is changing positions, going from the bed to the couch. So you may literally be, you may be moving, you may be going on vacation, I'm just hearing, which explains like the dancing and like the fun. Like there's a carefree nature that is coming out for y'all. That there is a little bit of a warning here about perhaps maybe being a bit too delusional and then falling into some sort of like temptation, okay? So it's best to counteract that whilst being in nature. For anyone that applies to, I don't know what this is about, but I'm just hearing moving right along. Okay, so that must have been for 1 or 2 of y'all specifically. Okay, Halo, baby boy, can you lay down please? Posha. Thank you. I would usually let him get all scratchy and comfy, but it's really disturbing my intuition right now. Ooh, I just got pulled to that 33 there. Interesting. I don't even know that those cards are numbered, but lo and behold. There's another 3 here. 41 or 14 might have something to do with y'all. 7 and 17 as well. There's another 3 over there. 1 plus 2 is 3. Interesting with the 3s. But anyways, be very mindful of any like delusion and falling a little bit too deep into perhaps maybe like the comfort of it all. I'm just hearing like, ooh, interesting, because I pretty much just did a thread that stated this. Hold on, let me pull it up, in fact, because I want to read it verbatim. It's like one line. But like, yeah, you eat lies when your heart is hungry. You eat lies when your heart is hungry. So you may fall into a form of temptation, a quick fix, if you will. For some of y'all that this may apply. And so you must trudge forward a little bit more carefully and more cautiously, okay? A little bit more grounded, more realistic in yourself. And what better way to ground yourself than get your ass out into nature? Now this makes sense. Okay, for whomever that may apply. Now, keys on trees, I'm getting brought here. There seems to be a lot that is like hidden within you, deep within your unconscious mind, and you are full of wisdom and fantastic ideas. My question is, what are you doing with them? Okay, because you may also be so trapped in your idealism and like your perspective on like, I'm hearing Alice in Wonderland's in a world of my own. Like you are in this state of ultra happiness in your life that it may be taking over a little bit too much, that you're not actually grounding any of these ideas and doors to new opportunities because, well, you're just so up in la la land for some of you, pile number 2. And that's okay. Like, be happy and like enjoy your life, okay? I definitely don't want this to be misconstrued in any form or a fashion. Though there is some bit of the shadow self that must currently be nourished at this time, okay? Like perhaps maybe this is just a reminder for a little grounding, okay? And also know that like you're very capable of obtaining and receiving more if you allow yourself to be a little bit more human about it too. You know, because the thing is though, is you may be so trapped in only receiving what is happy, healthy, go lucky for you, that you may also be bypassing opportunities that require a little bit more work, a little bit more grit, a little bit more like determination, if you will, consistency. You got to show up to do something, right? Now, I'm by no means calling you lazy here, pile number 2, so please never misconstrue this. The message that's coming out here for you, pile number 2, is to embrace the human experience as well in order to save yourself a hell of a lot of a headache later. Okay? So there is a level here of detachment that is to then be practiced where we separate ourselves from the illusion of how we expect an outcome to turn out, or if we have an idea of someone that we attach our own narrative that we've written up about this particular person and how they will treat us later, and who they can become. Like you fall in love with the potential, okay, that could also be the case. Detach from that outcome, ground yourself back into the moment, and notice who this person is in front of you right now, who this job is. Interesting. What I meant to say is what this job is. Like, say if this is something that is career focused, right? It could even be a place that you are moving to and you're vacationing to right now, that you kind of over romanticize the positives without looking at, well, okay, what are the living conditions here? Like, what's the rent like? How easy is it going to be for me to obtain a job and a means of actually surviving here financially, right? Like, there's different types of questions as opposed to being so lost in the magic of a new place and all of the wonderful new adventures that you're going to be on, and rather also bring yourself back into the moment and do the itty-gritty stuff. Like, run that errand really quick. Like, take a look at if you do need any sort of paperwork to move to this country or city or whatever it may be, you know, like what does that process look like too? What I'm saying is humble yourself. Okay? Spirit is just simply calling you to ground yourself and take all of the opportunities and ideas that you have in your mind and actually set forward through action in order to, number one, ground everything and make it a reality, right? Like, take it away from like a figment of your imagination and bring it down to your truest reality so you can touch it, feel it. Dun, 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 dun. Anyways, I don't know. Apparently that dance party just had to happen. So little by little, you're going to be receiving your blessings. This move will take place, this new partner or love or whatever that may be about. Because if you're dating someone, you may get, again, kind of lost in an entrapment of somebody, right? It could be a new job. You're like, oh, I get paid all of this money now, but you're not taking into consideration the job workload that comes with it. And you're just like, oh shit, like I still got to go through training. And it's like, ooh, maybe it's not so easy, but you're avoiding it, you know? But like, that's also not going to help you in the future. Once let's say your probation is up and they're taking a look at your progress and they're going, maybe if you did a little bit more, you put a little bit more effort into this, that, you know, you could perhaps get an advance right now on your paycheck or keep the job in general. Because the other aspect of it too is that when we fall too deep into temptation, we may obtain so much of what it is that we want very quickly and easily and efficiently, and yet it doesn't last. So when we allow a level of detachment, we can ground ourselves and take more of a deeper consideration as to what it is that we do have, how to be happy for it, and how to ground ourselves into the next step and next action in order to keep it coming and keep the flow coming, right? Instead of get so much so fast that, like, you know, it's kind of like equivalent to someone winning the lottery and blowing it in like a span of 4 months to a year, and then they're bankrupt by the next month. You know, it's like, yikes. Maybe if you would have slowed down a little bit, invested, like no one said don't enjoy it, but don't get so lost in the delulu that you fall into temptation so much so that you lose your head. And just like that, as quick as it came, it's gone, right? So slowly but surely, accept your wins and your successes, whether it is in love, in career, in your life in general. Perhaps your entire environment is changing, as we use as an example, right? However it is that this new life is coming up at you, stay humbled in your body, and you'll be able to enjoy it a lot more too. You're actually going to be able to sing your praises more often too, because you're going to feel worthy and accepting. You know, the more that you're not getting lost in an idea or an illusion of something, the more that you're actually present in the moment, open up to even more. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that makes sense to some of y'all, but I think if you're still here, then it definitely does make sense. So yeah, there seems to be something really wonderful up ahead for y'all. I'm getting pulled to the Fountain Tarot now. So let's see. I am hearing like an increase of finances, by the way. The Empress came out here as soon as I opened up that deck. So it could be something that you are creating or have been birthing. Perhaps maybe it's like a manifestation too. The thing is though, is the Empress is a culmination of all queens, okay? So the wands, the cups, the swords, the coins, everything that those queens had gone through on a human experience, the Empress has experienced too, times 4, okay? And that has shaped her into a very wise being that is willing and able now to create a life worthwhile because of everything that she had gone through and learned and experienced, and thus cultivated more positively and carefully. And so what I'm saying is whatever it is that you have been putting out into the universe through manifestation, through creation of any kind, you are about to start slowly reaping those rewards of. The message here is to take all of the lessons that had been learned for you spiritually, which is those wands, emotionally, which is those cups, coins, which is that physical body, okay, and swords, which is that intellect, that mental body, okay, and ground ourselves. The Empress is incredibly grounded and thus is able to cultivate, create, and build more. Essentially, don't lose your head. 10 of coins, yes, and then you will receive more, and you are worthy of more. You are more. You can still create a life full of abundance and feel deserving enough, feeling humbled enough, not having to fall into false facades and narratives of, let's say, culture and society and social media, where the greater amount of money you spend on some handbags or a car will elicit your success. It's about having the sense of freedom to do what it is that you want to do on a whim, if you would like. It's knowing that you're safe no matter what could potentially come up in your life. You've got the security and the means because perhaps maybe instead of opting in for the material, you invested. You set the groundwork. You didn't get lost in the temptation. Because the Seven of Swords here, the way that this is interpreting its energy for me and this whole narrative and play here for y'all in this general reading, pile number 2, is you gotta give more than you take. And it's always like, it's interesting because I'm picking this up in a multitude of different ways. This is giving me the grass is greener on the other side because it's fake. Like, you paid more, but you're not actually receiving the true benefits of that grass because it's not real. That's kind of the illusion that is being given to me right now. Like, perhaps in the past, or what you're noticing just generally speaking in society, in the Western world, when I say society too, sorry. You may be noticing people prefer, I just heard plastic. Interesting. And again, I'm seeing like plastic blades of grass, where it's like, yes, you have the color and the quantity that you really want and it looks great, but walking barefoot, it kind of like, it pricks, like it hurts. Maybe it even like cuts you up a little bit too, you know, like you're just like, ugh, like this ain't it. Something's missing. The full benefit isn't there. It wasn't fully grounded in the sense of like, well, maybe if I just took the extra steps and I learned how to maintain fresh grass long term, I could have invested in new fresh grass and obtained the right amount of knowledge and grounding of next steps. And again, it's like taking in the consideration of like getting the right types of paperwork, training in, like all of that stuff, those examples that were given before. Like even if it's just to buy some grass, like you would then have the full benefits of healthy, grounded, luscious grass in your backyard, and it'd be more worth your while. You actually obtain more than you've given in some regard. Do you know what I'm saying? Hopefully this is resonating with some of y'all. If you're still here, remember to please give this a like. Sometimes my spiritual check-ins become such like giant metaphors. And of course, reading for the YouTube collective. And there's always a mix of people, so much so that all these different types of examples and stuff come out. But if you want something precise and concise, canamwitchery.com, that's where you would book with me, okay, loves? Page of Swords came out of the bottom of the deck. You could barely see him there, but there he is. Okay, with the 8 of Coins. Now, I'm hearing 8 of Coins. I have to go to the little notebooky thingy here. So Spirit is telling me. Because there's something here about like precision and your creations and things like that. Artistic pride. Okay, in the Eight of Coins, a craftsman focuses intently on completing a project, combining his heart, head, and hands. He is proficient at his job, and he is committed to something more. There's that more again. The details that go unnoticed, that are seemingly insignificant to others. In other words, pure artistry. He has not been asked to improve by a customer or an employer. He is strictly for himself and for the love of quality and craft. When this card enters your reading, slow down, focus on the details, and enjoy the work for the love of it. I mean, wait to like take all of the messages that I had been speaking about for the last 20 minutes and put it into a nice little bow for me, Spirit. Go off. I'm getting pulled to the Heartscape Tarot here. Speaking of like nature and things like that, let's see what additional messages we have for my beautiful pile number 2. What does pile number 2 need to hear? What do they need to know? Take your time, just because the Page of Swords kind of came back out here for me. Take your time and do your research, okay? Use your discernment a little bit more. Practice grounding yourself, okay? And really taking in all of those ideas and placing them into the moment, okay? Tending to the finer details that people perhaps miss, okay? Do the whole holistic overview of your change versus just a portion of it that fits some goals, yes, but like, what's the outcome? What's the catch? What's the training that's involved? What's the longevity? Y'all feel me? You feel me? What does pile number 2 need to hear? Card out. We have the 5 of Cups. And I immediately heard pile number 1. So this is the second time I'm hearing this, okay? So you may have some sort of messages for you in that pile. But essentially, you may be mourning an aspect of yourself that perhaps maybe once believed you couldn't obtain what it is that is rightfully now coming your way. Okay, this tiny triumphs and all of your prayers being answered may come with a wave of guilt, if you will, of, I think you're just mourning a version of yourself that can't come along with you in one form or a fashion. Or, you know, you could be reminiscing a lot on how difficult your life was compared to what it is becoming now. There seems to be some sort of like an emotional wave of grief that you can expect, or that may kind of flood in and out once in a while as you're creating this new life and grounding yourself and being focused. Like, it could honestly even be any sort of like difficult types of emotions that you could be running away from and thus choosing to stay in Delulu land a little bit longer. But like, if you stay grounded and you just like allow yourself to sit by the shore and just breathe in that sea air. I literally did that just like a few days ago. It was great. We went over to the Baltic Sea, my family and I, and really just enjoyed ourselves. And I had a few moments to myself there too, by the sea, where I was just reflecting who I was, really grounding in the fact that like I'm still not the person that I want to be, but I still am so much of who it is that I have prayed I would one day be, you know, and I'm experiencing these really cool things in life that little me once prayed for, hoped to have the opportunity to live, you know? So it's about being grounded, allowing a form of self-reflection and self-awareness to also be present enough for us to not get lost out at sea, if you will. You know, get called by temptation in such a way that we lose ourselves and thus miss the mark of creating something more long-term. So go through whatever emotional stuff has to also happen too, okay? Because as we progress mentally, physically, spiritually, we must also align our emotions to it. And the safer and happier we are, by the way, the more likely you're going to have things from the past start to flood forward because you're safe now. The veteran will not ever be sitting in fetal position in the height of war. No, it's not until he's in his room, warm, cuddled in bed, peace, that all of a sudden he is reliving what he had once suppressed, right? Because he's safe now to process emotionally and mentally what he had to set aside in order to survive. Well, now when you're in paradise and you're experiencing this really good job or relationship or cool place in the world, things from the past tend to come right up because they're like, oh, hold on. We don't need this anymore. We're done being in survival mode and thus now need to experience something. Interesting that that message is coming up. Definitely go over to pile number 1 if that still resonates, okay? I have 2 of Cups as well as Knight of Swords. They came out here as well. So one of these offers could in very well fact be like a relationship, an offer of some sorts, okay? Something that could really honestly work more so long term. I know that the Knight of Swords is very fleeting because it's a knight, right? So they're very quick, but they're really following their intuition. Okay, I'm really getting called to all of these birds that are in flight. So the one difference between you and pile number 1 is that all of your birds are basically in flight, except for maybe this one, but they're singing, whatever, it doesn't matter. And the 2 of Cups could very well be a merger of love and abundances and things like that. You could have an offer, a conversation, a date, something like that might come up. We also have Queen of Wands. So this is kind of giving me Hermit Opportunist energy, which is myself. I'm a Hermit Opportunist in human design. But the more that you create for yourself, the more that you're going to be offered opportunities or gifts and things like that. And you're really being called to find a balance of both, okay? Of really enjoying your life and dancing and accepting the rewards, especially if you had a really difficult past that perhaps didn't allow for that before or whatever. So there's some sort of losses, you know, life's hard for everybody. We don't have to sugarcoat that. But nonetheless, like kind of like transmuting everything, putting in that work, looking into the finer details of your abundances in order for there to really truly be like a stable balance. I don't know. I'm sensing pile number 2. If you're not in a relationship already, you might be. Or a really, really good friendship might be coming along its way towards you, which could maybe even be that foundational kind of thing. So instead of like falling into the idealisms of somebody and falling in love with a potential and perhaps maybe just like the story and the illusion of like, you know, true love and things like that, you actually start off as friends and you take things slowly. You learn who each other is and thus kind of fall in love that way. Slowly and progressively. I don't know, something interesting here with temptation and humbling yourself and staying open whilst also feeling. There seems to be a lot. So if this does resonate, we're going to dive into your extended. I'm not sure where the messages are going to go. I think I'm just going to do a bit of a intuitive check-in with y'all. Okay, so we're going to take a look at your emotional, mental body, what's going on in your physical environment, your human experience at this time, and any sort of advice from spirit. We're just going to give you a deep dive here, pile number 2. I think that's just what's really needed. Let's ground you back into this moment here and now. Let's clear out anything that needs to perhaps be cleared out and thus allow you to move forward in a grounded state, in a peaceful and open state, whilst also one that will allow you to experience the full spectrum of the emotional experience, but also emotional experience. I meant to say human experience, but interesting that that came out, in order for you to continue to progress forward, and really find some longevity in these dreams and gifts that are absolutely coming their way for you. So, this seems like a good one. But if you are not going to be in the extended, that's cool too. I just want to thank y'all so much, pile number 2, for being here today. I do hope that this message resonated with you in one form or another, offered you whatever it is that you required at this time. And if I don't see you in another pile, I do hope to see you in another video. So please do all the YouTube things. They really help me out. And that's it from me. Thanks so much again, pile 2. Peace. Let's take a look at your physical human experience right now. What's going on in your environment? So nice little return on investments, okay? So these are all of those little gifts that you are going to begin to receive, right? Like those blessings are coming the heck on in. And there's a nice little return on investment. Like the fact that this is out in the middle of your reading is really good. You likely have a childhood dream resurfacing, okay? It could be something or someone or some place that you have manifested and daydreamed about once upon a time. Maybe you wished upon it a long time ago, and then life happened, and then perhaps maybe your wishes changed, but now the opportunity to relive that particular previous wish came true. Interesting. Ooh, and then the options come on in. Judgment. I'm hearing one more from the top. Okay, cool. That was easy. High Priestess. Love when she shows up. All right, so the greatest judgment here on a successful path forward towards your utmost greatness, whatever that may be for you, okay? Again, career, place, relationship as a person, next step. I'm also hearing pregnancy too. So for anyone whom that may apply, whatever changes it is that you are undergoing right now in life that are meant to be pleasantly celebrated, must come with a form of you really trusting your inner guidance. It's like your intuition is your compass. Hello, what's up? Pile number 3. What it do, baby? Okay, channeling in your energy. We're gonna take it like card by card, nice and slowly, as opposed to laying it all out as we had with the other piles. Something seems to be very picky and like hands-on with y'all, okay? So, first card up, we have no expectations. Okay, I'm immediately getting pulled to the Jaguar's gaze. Okay, I just heard, what's the password? Want? Oh, I'm getting pulled to the 22 here, so that might maybe have something to do with the password. Just an overall synchronization. No expectations. My left wrist is itchy. Y'all could be welcoming in a new form of payment right now, like a contract, something that could be really exclusive, something that perhaps maybe not a lot of people have access to. I also heard one of a kind, and that you hold the key, right? Like whatever password it may be, you have entrance. This is feeling incredibly VIP. For me, pile number 3. Let's go on further. What's this all about? We have abundance. I see. So this is an acknowledgement to my pile number 3s of the power behind recognizing your greatness. Okay? This is essentially like a quantum leap is kind of what I'm feeling here. A whale is grand, and you are nothing but human, and yet one is the same. What does that have to do with abundance? Well, It's leveling up your willingness to take up space in the world and thus accumulate more of the abundance that you are seeking. It's like the abundance is the whale that's coming right on into you, into this human experience. And so the reason why I really want to bring this up to your attention even more is in a way to let y'all know, pile number 3, that a lot of your hard work is about to, if not already, paying off. Like, you are about to be blessed. You're about to get the key to your own little paradise, you know? And it's something that you have been working hard towards, right? Because in order for us to increase our level of abundance in general, requires us to change the level of value within ourselves to acclimate to the abundance that it is that we're hoping to receive, right? So what I'm saying is, because we have a physiological reaction to, let's say, something like money, right? We'll use money as a really easy example. What if someone showed up to your door tomorrow and gave you $10,000 just cuz? Would you receive that comfortably? Almost expectedly? Would you be like, no, I can't take that? Would you say that's too much? Would you ask what's the catch? Would you not really trust it? You see, all of these different types of things come up where we receive a different type of reaction to something that should seemingly be really, really good, right? I mean, like, shoot, you're out here hoping and wishing to win the lottery and someone literally just shows up and says, hey, you've been chosen, here's $10,000. And yet you're still choosing to reject that? Or are you, again, willing to receive it? You got to do some internal work in order to then obtain the key and the right to receive something guilt-free, shame-free, with full trust in your heart, ready to become and absorb. You know what I'm saying? It's like, to be rich requires a particular frame of mind. And no, that's never to say that all rich people are evil, because that's also a narrative that has been spun into the collective consciousness, that money is bad. And yet here we are hoping to obtain more of it. Are y'all feeling what I'm saying here, pile number 3? Hopefully this is making sense so far. But either way, you're definitely increasing your value and likely your service to the world, okay? This could be a call to action right now, okay? That pile number 3, you are being pushed into a place of offering the world what it is that we require more of right now to be of service. I did also hear North Node. So interesting, the conversation about North Node came out in a different reading. I don't know which one it was now, but nevertheless, that is really ultimately highlighting more of our destiny and our purpose, the things and actions and frames of minds that we must work towards in order to unlock greater abundance in our lifetime, whilst also closing out different types of karmic cycles and thought processes and low forms of toxicity within that particular, like say, my South Node is in Leo, right? So that's the type of low form karma that I must work past to reach the higher forms of the Leo energy and use that towards service, which in my case is Aquarius, which I mean, humanitarian at AF. So I find a nice little balance in my life, which then also helps me actually unlock greater doors towards my abundance whilst also being of service to others, right? So if you're wondering, what service can you offer the world and what's my purpose and what's my destiny, and you've had these kind of questions come up for you lately, pile number 3, definitely take a look at your North Node placement in astrology, okay? And the conversation about your South Node will just automatically come up, okay? So be sure to Google, YouTube, your placement, as well as the house that it's into, okay? Quantum jump. Wasn't I just saying like a quantum leap earlier? Yes. So this is a really beautiful confirmation of change once again, but through effort, right? To do a quantum jump requires a complete submission to to God, to the universe, to detach and trust, and thus allow yourself to willingly process and release a version of yourself in order to completely become anew is what is a requirement. It's like a ticket. It's the question, password please. Like, do you have the ticket? Do you have your name on the list? Do you hold the password and the key towards perhaps maybe an alternate destiny for yourself? Now, a lot of people might have clicked off by now because they're looking for an easy way out, a quantum jump towards abundance and unlocking your greatness and thus becoming great and still being humble and of service to others and not utilizing this power towards more, well, destruction, as many people are in the world. You're choosing to not only change up your own environment and become happier, better, healthier, but also take an entire collective with you. The quantum jump is you finding balance and seeking equilibrium in your life. And I am going to say that there may be some people that you might lose along the way as usual, but for those tuning in right now, the people whom are in your circle right now are most likely already coming along with you. So like these are people whom also do a lot of that nice work within themselves alongside you. So you're always kind of quantum leaping together in a way, you know, and supporting each other. And when you're down, they pick you up. When they're down, you pick them up, and it's a nice, beautiful interdependence here between your soul family. And if you don't quite have a soul family just yet, and pile number 3, you're sitting here going like, Kat, what are you talking about? This is all seemingly outside of the box that I am currently living in, and I don't have many friends, and there is no abundance coming my way, and all of these different blockages and limiting beliefs are coming to mind. I want to, with so much love, tell you that this isn't your pile. And I'm sorry it took you about 10 minutes in to discover that, because those whom have done the quantum jumps and prepared their body, mind, and soul in order to truly ascend and go through places that not many people have the, again, like the ticket, the key towards, the password for. They don't think like that because they've already done a lot of that shadow work, dark night of the soul transformations enough to be like, you know what, I do deserve it. And I am not only ready for the abundance, but I am prepared for it. I am aligned to it. I will receive it wholeheartedly with trust in my heart, with love in my soul, with gratitude on the mind, willingly jumping in to do the change with all the faith that they need. Like I said, it's letting go all forms of resistance and giving it to God, giving it to the universe or whomever, whatever it is that y'all pray to, if at all. Perhaps maybe you're just trusting yourself. So, pile number 3, very powerful stuff. And just know that the right people are either going to meet you right there as soon as you quantum jump. Like if you're literally sitting here going like, I have no one, you're about to have a lot of people. But again, stay open to it, because this is the abundance that's also coming in. Like, last card here, we have, yeah, there it is. Release, shake, move on, heal. Okay. So, and I just heard I did that. This is, again, an acknowledgement, kind of like a, I don't know, an award ceremony for best healer goes to pile number 3. You have done so much work on yourself, and I hope that y'all are really truly ready to receive and move away from the frame of mind that like there's always something. And I know I'm definitely guilty of joking around and saying that like this shit never fucking ends, but like, I mean, spirituality and life in general is a roller coaster ride. Who sings that song? Life is a highway, I wanna ride it all night long. Dun, dun, dun. I literally just saw a dog shaking. And when they do that, like when they have like a quick like, they're literally shaking up the energy within themselves and releasing it. A lot of animals, in fact, do that. So this could, in fact, be an invitation to try some somatic exercises, pile number 3, where you literally move and shake your body in particular ways and fashions. I'm not a somatic teacher, but nevertheless, I'm pretty sure you can find some videos or practitioners, of course, to do this with you and be guided through it, which I would recommend more than anything because it will allow you to unconsciously release some things. So to be in a safe space and guided through it would be highly recommended to anyone who requires that. I also heard massage too. You may just want to book one in. Acupuncture, acupressure. Yeah, some release work in the physical body for my pile number 3 is definitely in it. And that's also going to help, in fact, like shake off things from the past in order for this like quantum jump into like this like quote unquote newfound reality to make itself more present and aware and possible for you, is also going to be, yeah, something that you could thank some physical releases of, okay? Like the body remembers, the body keeps track, okay? So deep down in the crevices of our nervous system and our muscles and our organs, we keep emotions, memories, and all of that kind of locked in. And if we don't really focus on releasing them so much, that can unconsciously develop as some sort of an autoimmune disease, chronic illness, and things like that, right? Like disease is more unconscious. Like we have the power with our minds to, in fact, heal ourselves. Now, without me sounding too woo-woo, okay, I will always recommend you go to a doctor and all of that, okay? Like spirituality is not to completely compromise the medicine that is required for anyone. And with the right types of spiritual, holistic health practices, like working on your mental and emotional health, can in fact help alleviate a lot of the stress, for example, in your body, which will then alleviate a lot of the inflammation and your body attacking itself, as an example, right? So somatic exercises and things like that can help to a degree. Of course, it's not the end-all healing thing. So I just need to add a little bit of caveats here. But if you are thinking about holistic medicine and integrating that into your life, this is definitely a big thumbs up for my pile number 3, if that at all resonated. Y'all are very interesting pile here, very woke, very like been doing the work, happy and healing simultaneously kind of people. Like we can sit together, let's do this. New directions, yes, and thus the wind blows you into a new area of your life, a wish come true, if you will. It's very interesting because pile 1 and pile 2 and now pile 3 are very similar and yet at completely different stages of, dare I even say, conscious awareness and like willingness when working with change and transformation. Y'all are very, you like to adapt. You know, not only do you go where the wind blows and takes you, but you do so very willingly. I'm just seeing this person kind of like Titanicing all over. Can you please focus on here? Right? Like extending their hands joyfully, ready to be like, here we go. Oh my gosh, and there's this little guy right here on his own little adventure. Very calmly, just hanging on to, this is cool. I like this card. It's a very beautiful card. And so you're headed in a completely new direction in life and you designed it your way. I once moved across Canada. I had always dreamt of like the mountains and everything. And for the longest time, I was in and around the GTA, like in Toronto, in Ontario. And most of my life was spent there, right? And at one point I was like, no way. I had a dream. And in that dream, I received a magnet. And that magnet had an AB on it. It was handed to me in my palm. It had an AB on it, and it had a little tiny Canadian maple leaf fucking logo thing. Oh my gosh, what am I talking about? I'm like at a loss for words right now. Nevertheless, symbolism brought me over to Alberta. So immediately I started just moving, looking at different job opportunities and everything. And I manifested living in a city. I lived in Calgary for a little bit. And granted, it was also in 2020. So it was definitely everything. Like, I moved right before everything shut down because of the big C. And I was astounded that I had manifested an entire city to myself. I used to be laughing. I was like, wherever it is that I move next, I want a city all to myself, where just the stores will be open as I need them. And, you know, people could still go about their lives, but like, just like away from me. And I will be able to be living happily on my own and healing and enjoying life and going to parks and walking along the mountains and the hikes. And I literally manifested exactly that life. Now, granted, I'm not saying that I sat here like manifested an entire pandemic, but like, the point is though, is like my wish came true in like the craziest way, that like even before the pandemic and everything like shut down, right? It was still emptier on the streets than I've ever been used to. I've been literally manifesting a city all to myself, and here I had it. And I think that on its own was its own quantum jump and leap for myself, right? I prepared myself for it. I'd done that work, secured it in. I was welcome to all of the healing that is also required for me to continue to receive the type of abundance and dreams comes trues that I had always envisioned and desired for myself, and it came out, right? So I felt the need to share that little tiny tidbit, because within your powerful intuition lie the keys and the answers that it is that you seek. And if the more that you integrate, the more that you become, the more that you're going to allow this beautiful wind to blow you to all the places in the world. Like right now, I'm not even in Canada. From Alberta, I went straight to Europe. I mean, talk about another quantum jump. I'm sitting here wondering like, shit, like where am I going to end up next? At this point, I don't even know, you know, but that's the beauty of this type of spiritual experience, that I think a very minute few of my Pile 3s are still here to this point. If you are, please drop a yin yang symbol down below, okay? Because that shows a really wonderful balancing act that y'all are now welcoming. If not, I'm currently confirming for you right now, because y'all are about to live a life that is just going to take your breath away in the absolute best of ways. You're on some really powerful changes right now. Yeah, it's a change of seasons. Here it is again, right? Shedding back all that no longer aligns. Some of y'all may be, in fact, on like a weight loss journey. Okay, I'm really feeling that right now too. So the quantum leap could literally be about like self-value too. You may be literally changing your physical reality as your body and as your vessel right now too, right? It could be that. It could literally mean like travel again, like lots of wind, lots of like releasing, lots of like carefree, like, you know, it's like that. It's that vacation glow, but you got to experience more of that in your day-to-day life. That's lovely. What else do we have? Lullaby and gentle night sleeps. Oh my goodness. Can I please predict for my pile number 3's peaceful nights? I think a lot of stress that you had carried with you for a long time is like, honestly, I just feel like just baggage just being dropped. I think y'all are about to live a life that feels as though it's a dream for a little bit, but that you've manifested into an utmost reality. And even for the next short while, because we know life is what it is, and sometimes we're going to get thrown into another dark night of the soul, if you will, and have to experience some hardships. And yet for you, it just might be that much easier because of your willingness to adapt. And I heard, like, you're really listening to your body too. Giving your body what it is that it needs helps take you out of like a trauma response, you know? The best way for you to like lower your cortisol levels and to really align yourself into a peaceful state is to give your body what it needs as it needs it. You know, like, oh, you're thirsty, drink water like almost immediately. You have to go to the washroom, like stop holding it in just because you have to finish the sentence or whatever it may be. Like, you gotta go, then go. If you're hungry, eat. You know? This helps take your body away from the state of like, oh shoot, we have to overprotect ourselves and hang on to food and stress the hell out because we can't even eat or drink or poop when we need to. You know, like that's stressful. So anyways, what I'm saying is give your body some rest as it needs it. If not already, you are going to have a lot of peaceful nights ahead where you're going to be sleeping a full 7+ hours. You're going to feel as though you can go to sleep feeling more accomplished, feeling safe, feeling happy, just blissful. You know, just a baby rocking back and forth to his favorite lullaby. Sounds good to me. What else we got? Night ride. And thus we have another change of scenery, kind of a vibe here. I am sensing kind of, ooh, my leg is getting a little bit tired there. Pins and needles galore. Like passing city lights. You could be traveling to a brand new city. And, or, which is funny because it's springtime that I'm picking this up right now, that I'm recording this at least, but it is a timeless reading. So this could be like a Christmas market or something, because I'm getting the sound of crunching snow beneath my feet right now. And so it feels as though maybe it's like a nice long wintry walk to see like the Christmas lights or something. Interesting. That was an interesting one. But there could be just like a change of scenery. There's something about night ride there too, right? So like your nights could have perhaps maybe once upon a time been something like really stressful for you, but now you're finding the beauty in it, the safety in it. You're now experiencing a whole new world. I'm hearing Aladdin in my head. And it's peaceful and it's happy and it's wise and you feel very protected too. There is an aspect of safety that's coming in here too with this owl's wing over the other owl standing on top of an elephant, which is definitely an animal that would keep you safe if it feels comfortable enough you riding it. I mean, bam, you know? So embracing a lot of affirmations in and around safety and stability and happiness and all in general is something that's going to definitely keep this really beautiful ride going. I also am hearing to pay attention to your dreams as well, pile number 3, because just like my story about like Alberta with the AB and the little maple leaf, at the center of it, that could very well occur for you too, you know, and it could be any sort of symbol. What is it for you? Pay attention to that. What else we have? We have Morning Dew Girl. Yeah, you might honestly find a lot of... I have to let my dog out. Watch. He's about to start barking, so... saving you all the earache. Change of like scenery, change of routine. I'm also hearing too, right? Like Morning Dew Girl, to catch the morning dew, you're up a lot earlier, right? Like you're catching like the defrost from the night before, the really beautiful spring morning of, well, it's just a refreshing new start. I just heard moist. And then someone said ugh to that. So yeah, anyways, pranked you. But yeah, with this little prank too, like you may honestly be finding joy in moments, experiences like never before. It is definitely giving me a vacation vibe, but more than that, it's a newfound look on life. It's choosing to see and experience life happier, still grounded enough to filter through life's woes and stresses and things that are bound to occur, but doing so willingly and knowing that this too shall pass. Like, you guys have this very awakened 5D perspective on life that is really going to help you throughout this. I just heard Pluto in Aquarius. So like, y'all are riding the good luck train for the most part for like the next several years. Like, until, like, I think Pluto is moving out of Aquarius not until like 2043 or something. So okay, cool. I love that for y'all. So what else can we put? I heard nothing. I did hear my snaps. So we are a couple of minutes under in comparison to the other ones, but you know, it seems as though y'all got what it is that y'all needed. So we'll see what the extended has to offer you, my lovely pile number 3s. I'm unsure just yet, so I'll meditate on that a little bit. You do have a little bit of a sneak peek following this, so if that resonates, or of course, if your curiosity flutters around even further, there is a link down below to the extended. Unlock that and you will unlock all other extendeds plus a ton more content that I can't even list. But you'll have it. So if I don't see y'all in another pile, I do hope to see you in another video. So please remember to do all of the YouTube-y things. It really helps me and my growing channel. And yeah, thank you so much, pile number 3. Keep shining, keep aligning, keep ascending. Very wonderful to connect with y'all energies today. And on that note, thanks so much. Peace. I heard this one. So, okay, we have Soul Star activation, fulfilling soul contracts, remembering who you are. Very powerful stuff, by the way. Some of y'all may have some form of connection to Egypt, okay, even if it is just by guides alone. Horus is really coming out strong with this bird here for me. I am also hearing like galaxies, so y'all could really resonate with being star seeds, for example, meaning your souls that have lived through different types of galaxies and frequencies and thus have reincarnated here on Earth in order to elevate. Pleiades just also came to mind there as well. I'm hearing this one. What did I just say about Egyptians? Thoth, light codes, light initiation, great teacher awakening, divine magic. I meant what I said when I stated not as many of y'all are going to be aligning with pile number 3 because y'all rock with some pretty heavy, powerful ancestry energies. And that's not to say that the regular Joe Schmo is unable to have access. But again, y'all hold the key. You've done enough work on yourself. I just heard initiation. Okay, so that's really coming up. You have initiated your human experience to such an extent that you have unlocked different types of codes, different types of quantum information that allows you to then do the leaps even more frequently, perhaps. And what's really wonderful too is you're aligned, pile number 3, to pay it forward, to be the teacher, to help others with their alignment, with their leaping.